Good morning. It is 9 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and start this meeting. Current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted on the wall at the back of the council chambers. Let's call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Wilkie?
Yes, here.
Roscoe?
Present.
Lucas?
Present.
Patterson?
Yes.
Mendenhall?
Present.
Okay, the next item of business is to review and approve the minutes of March 30th. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Wilkie?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Lucas?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Mendenhall?
Yes.
Who was the second?
Mendenhall.
You were, okay.
Okay. The next item here is to review City of North Platte amended redevelopment plan for Phase 2 of the Lakeview Apartments development. So, Mr. Bacon?
Mr. Chairman and members of the Redevelopment Authority, Mike Bacon, counsel for the Redevelopment Authority. Phase 2 of the Lakeview redevelopment plan is in front of you. You took action last fall to try and get Phase 2 going, and they were, because of a series of issues that Mr. Furley will describe, weren't able to do that. They now have resources and a commitment to go forward. However, Phase 2 has become larger, going up to 120 apartments, and so that requires an amended plan, increases tax increment financing. Tax increment financing in this case will go for construction of the facility because it qualifies for workforce housing. Workforce housing, the City Council adopted a incentive plan a couple of years ago now for workforce housing, and this one qualifies. You have to have a cap on the cost per door for the apartments, and this project comes in under that cap. Part of the redevelopment contract will require them to market to workforce going forward. That's not been drafted yet. Won't be drafted until we get approval of the City Council, should that happen. They want to close on the land early May and get in the ground by June 1. They've sent an analysis on the but-for test, which shows that without TIF, their rate of return for their $26 million investment would be something around 3%, which would not induce them to come and invest in your community at that level. So they clearly meet the but-for test. Other than that, pretty standard terms. The one issue of, as part of the cost-benefit analysis, excuse me, is what's the impact of the school system. 120 apartments can bring a load to the school system. However, it's going to be a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, as opposed to the old plan of 1 and 2 bedrooms, so they can have families with kids, obviously. It's a little old data, but a couple years ago we had about at least 1,000 empty desks. Pardon me. Allergies. So there's capacity in the school system to absorb that additional load, should there be any. About 2.23 persons per household in North Platte. So if you do the 0.2 times 120 apartments, you're not going to have a very heavy load in the school system. So anyway, any other questions? What is before you is the plan. It is not subject to approval at this point. It is just forwarding it to the Planning Commission for their hearing and their recommendation. Bob Furley, who's one of the lead investors, and Mike Carter, his attorney, is here and can answer any questions you might have. If you have any procedural questions, or statutory issues, please, I can try and answer those.
Okay, any questions of the board up here? Okay, thank you.
Is that mic turned on?
Good morning. Bob Furley with Dial, one of the investors in the project in the first phase of 80 units. Last fall, we were hoping to get moving on additional 40 units, but as the environment changed through interest rates rising and construction costs rising, we had to kind of step back. We were more on phase one, we were about $140,000 a unit. Our phase two is looking closer to about $190,000 a unit. So we had to step back and reevaluate. Fortunately, a local investor came to us that's very supportive of the need for additional housing and committed a very significant investment that allowed us to revisit this. So the one caveat that they had was that they would rather just build out all the second or third phase is what we had originally planned for, and just put it all in one phase. And so we went from 120 units to, from 40 units to 120 units, and their request was that we did have some 3 bedrooms for some families. So we have put together a plan to do that. We put together a budget, and with their investment and them taking a below market return on their investment, we're allowed to go forward if we can have the TIF. So that's kind of where we're at today. The first phase has been very successful. I think there's a continued need. I think we've had a very good response of the product that we put out there. Our intention is to keep the rents where they are. I mean, the second phase, with the investment and whatever else, hopefully we can keep rents. So even though the costs are up, if we can get the TIF, we can keep our rents where they are today, which I think is important to the community, and go forward with the rest of the project.
Can you expand any on the workforce housing piece of this as far as how that works for you as a developer?
Well, if we don't have the workforce housing, then we're restricted to certain items that are TIF eligible. Because we have a lot of the initial infrastructure in, I don't think we would be able to maximize the TIF amount to the amount of taxes. So, and unless we're able to utilize the vertical, I don't think we can get there. So that was really the need for the workforce housing.
Okay.
Of the existing units you have now are all rented or leased out?
Yes.
Existing?
We are 100% full, correct.
Do you have a perceived waiting list, or are there people looking for additional if you had them available?
We do have a small waiting list, but we now have, we are also, DP Management is involved in the other project on District 177 in a management, not in an ownership program. So we do have a pretty good feel of the market. We know that they're getting ready to bring on people there, and they have some pre-leasing done there. But we haven't pushed pre-leasing on our project because until we have certainty of moving forward, we can't make promises that we wouldn't be able to meet.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Bob.
You bet. Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the group here? Okay, so we're going to move on then to the next item here. We're going to consider the adoption of Resolution 2023-2, forwarding a redevelopment plan of the City of North Platte, Nebraska to the Planning Commission of the City of North Platte for purposes of its review and recommendation regarding the said plan's conformity with the comprehensive plan of the city of North Platte. And you have a copy of that in your working papers. I think what's already there is a very attractive, very nice addition to our community, and more of the same. Looks really good to me.
I would agree with the need for housing and what seems to be a very slow start for a lot of hopeful perceived partners in housing in this area that has not come to fruition yet. This is kind of ready to go, and as they've mentioned, shovel. I don't know if you call it shovel ready, but they're sure ready to get started closing of land and starting construction, so. The need is definitely obvious and present.
And I think I'd like to acknowledge the builders for coming to our community and helping us get along with the housing shortage we have.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider the adoption of a resolution 2023-2, forwarding a redevelopment plan of the city of North Platte, Nebraska to the Planning Commission of the city of North Platte for purposes of its review and recommendation regarding its plans conformity with the comprehensive plan of the city of North Platte.
Is there a second?
I would second.
More discussion? Comments, questions? Okay, let's vote. Roll call?
Wilkie?
Yes.
DeRosco?
Yes.
Lucas?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Mendenhall?
Yes.
Okay. So this will go to the next Planning Commission meeting, and pending their review, we'll see we'll see this again. So, any other business this morning? Okay, we're adjourned.